In this video, we'll show you how to change the drum brake shoes on your Chevy Silverado. You can find it on CarParts.com via the link in the description. For safety reasons, we strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Chevy Silverado safely. It is now necessary to release the parking brake in order to clear the grip of the brake shoes on the drum. You will have to remove the shutter cover located behind the backing plate with a flat screwdriver. You can now reach the adjustment mechanism of the brake shoes and retract the brake shoes until the brake drum is free. Remove the brake drum. Now you can see your truck's drum brake shoes. Using a fork or pliers, remove the spring from the adjuster lever. Then remove the adjuster lever. Screw the adjuster completely to make it easier to remove. Remove the adjuster. Remove the upper spring that holds the two brake shoes together. Then remove the bottom spring connecting the two brake shoes using a fork. Using pliers, rotate the front brake shoe's quarter turn cup to release the hold-down clip. You can now remove the front brake shoe from its slot. Then remove the pin. Perform the same operation on the rear brake shoe. Using pliers, remove the rear brake lever retaining clip from the rear brake shoe. Remove the rear brake shoe. When replacing the back brake drums, you should also replace the brake cylinder, an essential component in the good working of the system. Using a wire brush, start by brushing the metal hose connection and spray it with penetrating oil. Using a 13mm pipe wrench, unscrew the metal hose connection. Here's a tip. You can limit brake fluid leakage during this operation by plugging the metal hose connector with stopper pliers. Using a ratchet and an 8mm socket, unscrew the two rear brake cylinder retaining bolts. Hey, it's Alex from CarParts.com. For great content, our best price, and fast shipping, download the CarParts.com app now. You can now remove the wheel cylinder. You can use a plastic mallet. Clean the brake backing plate with a wire brush, brake cleaner, and a cloth. You can order the drum brake shoes used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Take the rear brake cylinder, then install it. Screw the two retaining bolts back in. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Remove the stopping plug. Next, screw the metal hose connector back on. Clean with brake cleaner to remove all traces of brake fluid. Grease the bearing surfaces of the drum brake shoes with copper grease. Using a wire brush, brush the part of the brake lever that is in contact with the rear brake shoe to facilitate sliding of the two parts. Then apply a small amount of silicone grease to the flat part that will be in contact with the rear brake shoe. Take the new rear brake shoe. Put the washer provided in the kit in place. Fit the new clip. You can use a hammer to insert it properly. Then lock it in place using pliers. Next, spray the assembly with a thin layer of silicone grease. Install the rear brake shoe in its slot. Take the hold-down pin and place it in the brake backing plate. Then install the spring and quarter turn cup using pliers. Position the brake shoe correctly in the brake cylinder and the bottom stop. Perform the same operation on the front brake shoe. Take the bottom spring, then put it back in place. Then put the upper spring back in place. Take the new adjuster. Apply silicone grease to prevent corrosion over time. Then assemble the adjuster as shown in the video. Put the adjuster back in place between the brake shoes, paying attention to the direction of assembly. Put it back in the same position as shown in the video. Unscrew the adjuster by a few threads to bring the brake shoes closer to the position where they rub against the drum brake. Next, put the adjuster lever back in place. Then, put the adjuster lever spring back in place. Put the brake drum back in place. Put the shutter cover back on. When replacing the drum brake, you need to bleed the brake fluid system to remove air from the system. To do this, we suggest watching our video, How to Bleed the Brake Fluid System Chevy Silverado. Don't forget to clean the parts around the bleeder with brake cleaner to remove all traces of brake fluid. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put the car back on the ground and block the wheels properly. Once bleeding is complete, the brake pedal must be pumped several times to activate the automatic drum brake adjustment. Under no circumstances should this element be handled with a screwdriver, as it works on its own once bleeding is complete. Operation complete.
Quality parts, priced right, CarParts.com.